All right. So I decided to do the third eye chakra. I'm wearing purple too, so it's kind of perfect. And you can either light a candle if you're at home, or you can look up on YouTube either a candle light. There's this really cool purple one you can look up even, but just a candle flame. So you can look up candlelight or flame of a candle on YouTube, and they have 10-hour clips of just a candle, or an hour clip or whatever of just a candle that you can use just as easily to gaze with as.
What about a violet candle?
Better. There's some candles that are specifically made with essential oils and Reiki for the third eye chakra that are also correspond with the color and everything. So you can use that, or you can even on YouTube, there's a specific violet candle flame that you can look up, which is a really neat one too. So if you choose to do that, anything with purple or indigo, violet or indigo, reflects the third eye chakra. And we're going to be doing through the practice today, we're going to be focusing on the third eye. So if you're at home and you maybe have a wall next to you somewhere, because we're going to be doing a little bit of balancing stuff too. So, AB, did you pull up a flame yet?
Oh, the flame, okay. I was like, what?
I guess I'll kind of look at yours as well.
Candle.
So just sitting in Sukhasana with your legs crossed in the easy pose. And we can bring our awareness to this flame. I'm going to share it over here.
All of you made the flame.
Can you guys see that one? Okay, so what you want to do is you want to just focus in and just gaze at the flame. We're beginning to tune in, and this is a great practice to do before bed, candle gazing, because it slows down your breath to about 9 breaths per minute. And it brings your awareness in. So we're just staring at this flame here, keeping our eyes gazing, fixating upon the flame. Even as it flickers, we're keeping our eyes gazed on the flame. If you'd like, for a moment, you can close your eyes and see if that flame is still imprinted behind your eyes. And if the image isn't burned behind your eyes, you can gently open your eyes again and just stare back at the flame. If you're looking at the phone, you may also see an image of the background reversed. Staring at the flame, sending your intention. And if you close your eyes and you see the image burned, Begin to gaze into that image of whatever you see burned. I'm looking from far away, so I see a little bit of the background on this phone screen. And if you see the image beginning to fade away, you can't hold it, just open your eyes again and begin to gaze again on the flame. Candle gazing, just like reading a book, can help slow the rhythm, the breath, and the focus. We're going to begin. You have your eyes closed. So slowly blink our eyes open. And we're keeping our awareness on our third eye chakra. If you'd like, you can envision your breath being violet in color. Our third eye chakra is our wisdom center for intuition and inner vision. We're going to begin to lift our right arm, and we're going to reach over our left shoulder. We're going to just hug our arm in, stretching our arm over for a moment. If you can, bring the elbow into the crease. We're going to begin to send it around and clasp the hands together, finding a nice stretch in that right shoulder. We're aligning both hands at the third eye point. We're breathing through any tight spaces. Taking a deep breath here. We're breathing through that right shoulder. We're really getting a nice stretch in there. Maybe you lift your arms a little. Maybe you curl your arms in a little bit if you haven't quite reached the first time. Just really seeing how this pose evolves for you. As we take a deep breath in, on an exhale, we slowly let our hands free and then begin to let our elbows free. And we shake our arms out. And we come and bring the left arm now over the right. And we bring the elbows together, stretching over, getting a deep breathing through that left shoulder. Bringing the elbows together and bringing the hands around to meet. We're finding that stretch deepening through the left shoulder. Aligning our hands with the third eye. We keep our awareness at this center point. Here, we experience the human aligning slowly but surely with practice, with the spiritual body, with divinity. Not quite perfect, Fibonacci to 5. Deep breaths here through that shoulder into any tight spaces. We're going to take a deep inhale all together. As we exhale, unraveling the hands first, and then the elbows. Here, we're going to begin to come up on our mat. Standing, slowly bringing both feet down to the ground. We're going to find a nice gentle bend in our knees, and we're going to slowly begin to dive forward on the mat, bringing our hands all the way down to the ground. And we're finding a nice bend in our knees here. Holding this for a moment, feeling the blood, the energy, the heart flow, all begin to shift. We're going to begin to bring our hands, and on our next inhale, we're going to slide them up our shins and come into a half lift with a straight back. Holding this pose here, we find a straightening and a lengthening through the legs without locking our knees. And we find a lengthening through the spine, pushing away from the hips. Feeling this 90-degree angle. Maybe you still see your candle flowing there and you're peeking over too. One more deep breath here, and we're going to come into a slow flow. With every exhale, coming down, bending the knees, reaching towards the ground. Every inhale, sliding up the shins, straightening the legs and the back. A few times here, at your own pace. And then we're going to come all the way down into a forward fold again. This time we're going to crawl our feet back, and we're going to come down onto our bellies and gently lower down. We're going to bring our hands to the sides, and we're just going to lift our head up. We're keeping our chest down here. We're just gazing with our eyes closed, or maybe gazing at the candle in front of you. If your eyes are closed, you want to bring your awareness into your third eye. Gently breathing. And as you breathe, feeling the rise and fall while your gaze remains fixed. Staying connected and being in touch with our true purpose. We see what our highest self is capable of. And here we gaze into alignment and what that looks like. Here we're going to begin to press up into upward facing dog, gazing forward still, maybe at your candle, maybe with your eyes closed. We're gazing with our third eye chakra. We can see clearly the bigger picture ahead. Releasing down, We're going to come down, bringing the elbows to the edge of the mat and the hands together on top of one another, laying the forehead directly onto the backs of the hands. We're getting back in touch with what it looks like when we're experiencing mental fogginess or disconnection from our higher self. We just can't see the bigger picture. Feeling stuck, feeling disconnected. What does that look like for you? Long, deep breaths here. We're focusing our awareness at the third eye space, feeling the pressure from the backs of your hand. Here, we're going to begin to lift our third eye chakra up, bringing our hands back to where they were when we were just in cobra pose, gently at our sides. We're going to begin to plant our feet, and we're going to press through our knees first into tabletop, and then pressing our knees up into the sky, into downward facing dog. Here we press through, engaging those shoulders. We're going to press through each of the fingertips as we focus our awareness on our entire hand, palm, pressing down into the mat. We press ourselves back. Maybe we find a pedaling of the knees here. Slowly bringing one knee down and then the other knee down. As we bring the left knee down, we send that right foot up in the air behind us. Taking a deep breath here, feeling the line of energy, staying focused on that third eye chakra. Deep inhale. Exhale, bringing that foot down. Bringing ourselves down onto our knees and then crawling our hands forward into child's pose. We begin to press through our hands and bring ourselves up on the mat into upward facing dog by bringing our hips down to the mat, our whole lower body actively pressing into the mat, our forehand or our hands pressing up. Taking a deep breath here, breathing through that third eye space and finding that beautiful line of energy, maybe purple, maybe indigo. We're going to begin to plant the toes. We're going to press through the knees, lifting up into downward facing dog. Adjusting yourself as you press your head through your shoulders towards your feet. The heels are pressing down to the mat. We're taking deep breaths here. Maybe you pedal your knees. This time here, we send the right knee down and we begin to press up through that left leg as we straighten that. Taking a deep breath here. We're tuning into our senses. What do you feel in your body? Do you feel heat? Do you feel sensations? Do you feel tension? What color is it? Bringing that foot back down, we come down to our knees. We press our hands, roll our hands forward into Balasana, child's pose.
Relaxing down, tuning in. Where do you sense energy flowing? Where's energy being sent to your hands, to your feet? What does it look like? What does it feel like? Is there an area that it's not necessarily flowing? Use your third eye to tune in to however you experience your intuition. Maybe it's through clairvoyance and you see colors, shapes. Maybe it's through clairsentience. You feel it. Maybe you just know that it feels like static running through. Here we're going to begin to press up
into tabletop. And we're going to find ourselves in a straight back. So we're focusing on the alignment of our spine here. Just with a straight back, we're going to bring our hands under our shoulders. If they're not already, we're going to check in. So we're going to spread our fingertips. We're bringing our knees under our hips. And we're really focusing, just looking down at the ground, gazing with your third eye, and just tweak your body. Maybe you need to tilt your hips, tilt your neck, loosen or tighten your shoulders. We're finding a straight line through the spine. So just tuning into the subtle movements. Again, we're really using our third eye chakra here with this inner vision. So coming into this variation of the cat-cow, we come from this straight back tabletop down into child's pose, pressing down with an exhale, coming up with an inhale. And we're carving our line here, and we're keeping that straightening of the spine as we come up and down.
finding your own flow.
Very gentle, meditative, subtle practice. Lining the breath and the movements. One more flow here, and we'll stop in tabletop. We're going to begin to press through our hands, and we're going to slowly begin to lift through the mat until we come into forward fold. So we're staying down here. We're keeping this energy flow. Here, we're going to frame the left foot, finding a nice bend in our knee on the left side, and we're going to send the right foot behind us. Here, we're beginning to experience the practice of our gaze and finding balance. When you practice balancing poses of any type, your gaze, you automatically have to fix your gaze on something to stay up there. So taking deep breaths here, finding lines that you're creating through the back leg, straightening, the lengthening. Maybe you just press your heel towards the wall, flexing your foot. Finding the line through the crown. One more deep breath. And we're going to drop that leg down. Here, we're going to begin to anchor our weight down on the right side as we frame the right foot. And we're going to send that left foot behind us. Focusing in, finding your gazing point and aligning with what you know as your highest self. Finding alignment in this position, in the physical, can be difficult. Finding alignment in those subtle little movements through your spine and tabletop, or whether it's finding alignment in a more challenging balancing pose. This is the same equation coordinating with the finding alignment in spirituality. Bringing that foot down in your next breath, on your next exhale, you begin to slowly crawl our way back up, vertebrae by vertebrae. And we're just going to stop for a moment and feel the energy as it centers, flowing back. We stand all day, or we are always sitting in the same position. So we'll get back to what we're used to. What a beautiful shift. So here we're going to begin to find our balance. Again, we're going to come through a little flow. We're going to begin to find balance through the left side of the foot by grounding down. We're going to begin by lifting our knee up. If you'd like, you have the option to kick it right out. We're going to hold that breath for a while there. Then we're going to come out to the side. And again, you have the option here to kick that foot out. I don't know if I'll be able to with the stuff I have on the side here. And then we're going to come to a resting point at the tree pose. So we're going to flow through a small sequence like that. If you'd like to get a glass of water, do so now. We're going to go through both sides. Oh, taking a walk in the other room, my third eyes. So, AB, you might want to get a wall too. Okay, so we're going to begin here. We're going to begin on the left side. So first we're going to grounding both feet down. We're just going to slowly lean down into the chair pose for a moment. You can take that as deep as you like. We're going to come back up and we're going to begin to ground down through that left side as we lift the right knee up in the air. So from here, you do have the option to send that knee out in front of you. Focusing on a gazing point. If you have the knee out, you're going to begin to bring it back in. We're going to now open to the side. You'll feel that your feet begin to find foundation in a different area. Taking long, deep breaths here. One more deep breath. And then we're going to begin to come into the tree pose. Maybe this is a connection at the shin or the calf. Maybe it's at the thigh, but avoid placing or sliding into the knee. You should be feeling that left foot right now. Just stay strong through it. Two more breaths. Finding that gazing point. Inhale and release on your next exhale, rolling the ankle out. We're going to be doing the same thing on the other side. So this time we're just going to come into a forward fold first. We're going to slowly begin with our hands at our heart, hands up to our forehead, hands up to the sky, inhaling deep, exhaling down. Relaxing here for a moment. If you'd like to find a little bend in your knees, feel free to do so. We'll slowly begin to come back up. We're going to begin to press down into that right foot, and we're going to lift that left knee up on our next inhale. If you'd like, you can send the foot out in front of you. We're bringing the foot in on the next breath if you didn't have it there already. And then we're going to begin to open to the side. Again, adjusting on that right foot. Staying fixed with the gaze. One more deep breath here. And then bringing the foot to connect down to tree pose. Staying strong here. Sturdy tree. One more breath. Releasing on your next exhale. Rolling that right foot out. We're going to begin to bring our right foot to, we'll start with our right foot, bringing the right foot up to the front of the mat, bringing the left foot back behind you. We're going to find a nice lunge in this right leg as we send our arms out wide. The right arm in front, left arm behind, hips rotating towards the right of the right leg. Taking a deep breath here. We begin to bring our hands into prayer hands, bringing both of our hands forward and really squaring those hips towards the right knee. We bring our hands up in the air and we lean back. Taking a deep breath, finding foundation, staying balanced. Here, we're gonna begin to really find foundation and grounding through that right foot in the front. We're gonna begin to lean forward with our arms, and we're launching off from that back foot and coming up into the air, sending that back foot out like we did earlier, but this time we're keeping our hands up in the air. Finding that alignment. We begin to release on our next exhale, bringing that back foot down. And bringing both feet together to meet. We switch sides here now. You'd like to roll that right foot out. We're gonna drink. We're gonna bring the left foot this time to the front and the back foot parallel with the back of the mat. And we're gonna find a nice lunge through that left knee as we send our left hand in front of us, right hand behind us. Squaring the hips towards the left of the mat. We're breathing deep and finding that line through our energy body. Bringing the hands together into prayer hands, we really curve ourselves towards the right hip, the left hip. We bring our hands up into the sky and lean back, taking a deep breath through our front body, keeping our awareness on the third eye and our gazing point to find balance. Finding foundation through that left foot, strong foundation. As we begin to lean forward, we're launching off with that back right foot, sending the right foot up in the air and finding that alignment again. Making sure there's not a hyperextended or locked left knee. We have a little bit of a bounce there. Finding that gazing point, holding strong. One more breath. And releasing on your next exhale. We're going to slowly just close our eyes for a moment. Bringing your hands down to your sides. And just tune into where you are right now. Feeling this energy, this new oxygen pumping through your energy body, your prana, your chi flowing. We're going to begin to gently come into a seated position, into Sukhasana. And we're going to bring first our 3 fingers up to our forehead. And we're just going to gently tune in again to our third eye chakra. Here, I don't want you to follow any specific breathing pattern. Just tuning in more to your awareness at the center of your brows. We're going to bring our hands down now and just place them into the root chakra mudra for a moment for now, with the 4 fingers and thumbs touching. And keeping our awareness on the third eye. The third eye is pretty activated when you do anything like gazing or balancing. My third eye is pretty active right now, and I'm sure yours are as well. But I'd like to, before we move into Savasana, just show you and just do one more really awesome breathing exercise. We're going to be bringing ourselves through the chakras and clearing each of the chakras with this breathing exercise through our third eye. To understand the motion, we begin by, with our eyes closed, looking down in our eyelids. So we're looking down all the way. And then we're going to begin to look up and in towards our third eye center. So when you're looking up, you may feel a little bit of a cross in the eyes. From that point, we're going to pulse in and focus in. And you can do that 3 times, pulsing in, pulsing in, pulsing in. And on the 3rd time, you're going to shoot your eyes back down. And this with the intention of clearing. So as you're looking up towards that third eye chakra, you're moving up to the next chakra here. At this point, you can switch your mudra so that your thumb and your middle finger, or your ring finger, no, is that your middle finger are touching, your second finger. So here we're going to look up towards our third eye chakra, and we're going to pulse, focusing in, focusing in, focusing in 3 times. And on the 3rd time, we're going to shoot the eyeballs down, looking all the way down. Here, with still looking down, we're going to begin to move our fingers to the 3rd finger, or the middle finger, or the ring finger. Okay, right. And looking down still, we're going to begin to inhale and look up. We're going to pulse, 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 and we're going to exhale, shooting those eyes down. Still looking down here, we're going to hold the breath while we switch to the pinky and the thumb. We're going to inhale, looking up. Pulse, hold, pulse, and shoot those eyes down, exhaling. Hold as we come back to the ring finger and the forefinger. The thumb and the forefinger. Inhaling, we're going to come up. Hold, pulse, 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 and exhale, shooting the eyes down. Retaining the breath, we switch to the thumb and the middle finger. We're going to inhale, looking up. Pulse, 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 and shoot those eyes down with an exhale. I'm going to switch fingers, holding the breath, and look up. Inhaling. Pulse, 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 and shoot those eyes down. We're going to bring the hands into the sacral chakra mudra by laying the palms together, lying in one another, facing up, and the thumbs meeting at the top, forming an oval shape. And just lie that right in your lap. And just tune in silence. Like, you have the option to stay right here in a seated savasana, or you may lay down, relax your bones in the resting pose, corpse pose, so Savasana. You're open to receiving Reiki healing energy, silently confirm right side. Take a moment to take a deep breath in, to wrap our dear friend Brian Kelly in warm light, divinity, blessings of love, mustering up all we have to help guide this angelic divine light, the healing of highest of all good. Taking the deepest breath you've taken all day. And begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Maybe you lift your knees to your chest or stretch your hands above your head. To begin to make your way back up into Sukhasana, seated. With prayer hands, the Anjali Mudra. The divinity within me recognizes and aligns with the divinity within you. Namaste. So that was nice. And if you guys wanted to, just like we were just doing the chakra challenges, you want to join and do the journaling for the week, I can still send that. You want to dive into it? It's a lot in every chakra. And let me stop this recording.